If you really sit to think about it, EA Sports has over 1/3 of the global population on chokehold. Gaming is no longer just a playtime hobby reserved for kids and computer nerds. Now it's a full-blown multi-billion-dollar industry that brings people of different ages, nationalities, and cultures together. And it has somehow gotten itself into our everyday lives. Whether it's the simplicity of mobile games or the immersive worlds of major consoles like PlayStation and Xbox, gaming is now a dominant force in modern pop culture. And that's how a certain company has gotten into the market.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Actually, they've been in the game since 1993. That's when the first version of FIFA was released. See guys, EA had a plan at the time to take over the world of gaming, and that included football too. They've been successful with the NFL, creating the game called Madden. Now, their next target was football, and that's when they struck a deal with FIFA. Initially, when they started in 1993, EA Sports created a version of the game that was rigged. Scoring goals was too easy, and there were no club teams up for selection too, only national teams. It kind of improved in 1995, and by 1996, FIFA Soccer 96 of that year was the first one to be played in 3D. But when things really started looking on up for FIFA was in 1998. By the time they released the FIFA Road to World Cup 98 edition of the game, it had the football world going crazy. Suddenly, everyone wanted a copy. I even found one in my dad's basement. That year's version had much better graphics, a complete World Cup edition with qualifying rounds so players could take their teams from the qualifiers all the way to the final edition, and pretty soon FIFA was able to license the game, making it its first officially licensed game at the time. Despite competition from Japan and Konami, by 2000 FIFA had sold 16 million copies worldwide, making it the best-selling game association football game series. And this was where the dominant starts to really grab hold of football's gaming scene started. See guys, FIFA was smart. Anyone who played the game at that period would have known that Konami and Pro Evolution Soccer, or the earlier titles as they were known, had better gameplay. But FIFA ultimately had the licensing. And what this means is they were smart enough to take the aspects of the gameplay people liked from Konami, use that in their own game, and create a version of the game that felt more real, real-life players, real-life teams. It ultimately made for a better gaming experience. Given that football remains the most popular sport globally, it's not a surprise that football games dominate the market with an extremely high level of followership. But it doesn't stop there. Other sports have also cemented their presence in the gaming world. American football thrives through the iconic Madden NFL series, while tennis, Formula 1, and boxing have all carved out their own loyal followings. Wrestling fans are drawn to the WWE 2K series, bringing the intensity of the ring to the consoles. In basketball, its enormous fan base is kept engaged by the ever-popular NBA 2K franchise, with an audience growing year by year. When it comes to football gaming, a few big names dominate the landscape. EA Sports FIFA series, now known as EA Sports FC, Konami's Pro Evolution Soccer, rebranded as eFootball, and a few smaller titles like Real Football. These games have competed for years to become the best, and each has tried to beat the other in terms of player experiences, graphics, and realistic gameplay. At its peak, Pro Evolution Soccer, or PES, earned a reputation as the go-to football game for purists, catering to the most passionate fans of the sport. These hardcore enthusiasts revered PES for its ability to deliver a more authentic football experience with its smooth, responsive gameplay and a tactical focus that encouraged strategic thinking on the virtual pitch. Players ultimately loved the graphics and the realistic gameplay Konami and PES were offering. However, despite its advantages, PES struggled to keep pace with FIFA's popularity. Licensing issues destroyed PES's ability to feature the names, uniforms, and stadiums of major league titles, leaving fans begging for the complete experience that FIFA effortlessly delivered. In the end, guys like my dad just opted for FIFA instead. They were offering a better package. The gameplay wasn't as realistic as it was on PES with FIFA, but it was something close to that, and in every other angle, FIFA held the upper hand. Think about it, using fictional teams like Man Red, London Blue, or RM White in the game as opposed to FIFA's real licensing didn't add up at all. Now FIFA had the edge, and they were determined to make sure they kept it that way. Every year they added new features to the game to make sure the players always wanted more. In 2008, the Become a Pro feature was introduced. Players could now create versions of themselves and use them in real game-time competitive scenes. The game was spreading fast, and by 2012, FIFA had truly taken over. FIFA 12 that year sold 3.2 million copies in its first launch week alone. That's insane. In the same year, they'd become so good that they stole PES's major game card right off their hands. Or actually, they bought him over. Once again, the game was still expanding. By 2016, they've added female football to the series, so there was something for everyone too. And by 2017, not only were they using the new Frostbite engine now, they'd also introduced my best friend growing up. Imagine being able to live out a GOAT-level career through Alex Hunter. Now that's something. This combination of realism and interactivity made FIFA become the preferred football game for both casual gamers and die-hard supporters too. At this point on, 2017 and 2019, PES had fallen off. They could no longer compete with what FIFA and EA were doing. Ultimate Team had now become a marketable franchise, and everyone was playing it. For many years, FIFA had stayed as the unchallenged king of football gaming. It became eagerly anticipated each year by millions around the globe. EA had developed a new strategy. Launching the game on the last week of every September wasn't the only thing they did. They learned the art of building excitement to the yearly releases with crazy trailers and getting the best players in the world as cover stars. Messi was the first cover star from 2013 to 2016, but in 2017, FIFA did something that truly gained the love of fans all over the world. In the 2017 edition, the cover star was different, Marco Reus. Not because he had better numbers or performances than anyone else that season. FIFA and EA decided to allow fans to vote who to become the cover star for that year's edition. This was super wild. It made it seem at the time like they cared about the users. I'll get to the other cover stars in a bit, but first, from a financial point at least, EA was making real money. FIFA's dominance in the football video game market showed in its impressive sales figures, consistently selling millions of copies each year. By 2021, the franchise had sold over 325 million copies, and it was still increasing. In the same year, for example, the Ultimate Team had raked in over $1.6 billion to the franchise. They had the world's attention. Now, how? Licensing once again played the key role, and it's all thanks to FIFA. EA Sports made the game, and FIFA gave them the license to operate using real player names and rights, intellectual property, and in turn, it just got even better. The licensing went as far as getting at least official club names and players in England's 4 highest levels of professional football. That's the Premier League, Championship, League One, and League Two. In Spain, they had rights to use La Liga and La Liga 2. In Germany, it was the Bundesliga and Bundesliga 2. In France, it was the League 1 and League 2. In Italy, it was Serie A and Serie B. Add this to league like the Portuguese League, the leagues in Denmark, Belgium, and even China. These guys had the license to go anywhere. In the game itself, they'd also introduced new additions to make fans tuned in. FIFA's official tracklist became a thing, from FIFA 14's like John Newman's Love Me Again to Small Pool's Dreaming. The official tracklist for each year became a thing fans looked forward to. It wasn't just random indies music alone, they mixed it up and had fans wanting more. The use of new engines had also improved the gameplay too, and now it was the world's game. I mean, the attraction they built up every year for it showed. Let's take a look at the FIFA cover stars since FIFA 10. For FIFA 10, they brought on 2 English superstars, Wayne Rooney and Frank Lampard. And the Ballon d'Or winning Brazilian Kaká was the cover of FIFA 11. In the next edition, Wayne Rooney shared the cover with Arsenal starlet Jack Wilshere. And from FIFA 13 to 16, Lionel Messi carried over his Ballon d'Or dominance to the gaming world. We've already talked about how unique the 17 cover was, but in 2018, FIFA and EA went back to the old tradition of getting the best players in the world as cover stars. And for the next 2 years, it was the boy from Madeira. Cristiano Ronaldo owned FIFA 18 and 19 as the cover edition. Although in FIFA 19, Neymar, Kevin De Bruyne, and Paulo Dybala were also alternate covers as well, but you still get the idea. Premier League superstars Virgil van Dijk and Eden Hazard held it down in FIFA 20, but for FIFA 21, 22, and 23, it was this guy. Kylian Mbappe, cover star of FIFA for 3 years in a row, and officially the last cover star with EA and FIFA working as a team. Speaking of teams, how about I put you on the team with the best footy content on YouTube? Yeah, Mr. Football. To get in on the action, all you gotta do is hit that subscribe button down below. It's that simple. These cover stars were far more than just attractive images. They were very important in the game's marketing strategy. For instance, when Messi was the cover star, it had Ronaldo fans saying Ronaldo should have been the one in the front cover, and vice versa. The banter didn't just entertain, it was free advertising for EA Sports, generating buzz and keeping FIFA as the most talked about game everywhere. The players' performances kept the franchise alive in the public eye, making every release an anticipated event, and ensuring that the excitement around the game never dropped. Moreover, anticipation and spirited debate thrived around the player ratings. This was, and still is, a really big deal. The yearly ratings were based on how players had performed in previous seasons, and what this meant was that if a player did well, he could expect the ratings to go up that year, and if he didn't, they'd drop. Even though the core gameplay of each new edition remained largely unchanged, EA Sports skillfully leveraged this excitement to create a continuous hype machine around it. I mean, think about it. Every year, fans kept guessing who'd have the highest ratings, or what their favorite players would be in the game before it launched. Each year, this cycle rejuvenated interest and enthusiasm, further strengthening FIFA's status in the gaming scene. Despite FIFA continuing to sell millions of copies each year, players started to recognize a glaring issue: the game was stagnating. Following the launch of FIFA 17, which introduced the Frostbite engine and improved graphics, the series started to feel increasingly repetitive. Enthusiasts voiced their frustrations, claiming that EA Sports was just throwing the same game with a fresh number and a new cover star in people's faces. The gameplay, animations, and even the menus felt stale and predictable, failing to excite longtime fans. As players got into the virtual pitches, they couldn't shake the feeling of déjà vu, that they were engaging in the same game all over again. Cutscenes remained the same. This lack of innovation sparked conversation about whether FIFA was truly committed to improving the gaming experience, or they just wanted more money off a game they were already making billions from. While casual gamers may not have noticed these issues, the lack of any real innovation became a significant issue for dedicated FIFA fans who played the game religiously. For them, the excitement FIFA promised each year never delivered. One of the biggest examples of this lack of improvement was FIFA's most popular mode, Ultimate Team. The main hype around the game, Ultimate Team allowed players to craft their dream squads by assembling real-life players' cards, meaning if you could build a team with proper chemistry, they'd be unbeatable. EA Sports dedicated significant resources to enhance this mode, rolling out visually striking new cards, exciting team packs, and time-limited events designed to entice players into spending money on in-game purchases. While this focus on monetization successfully drew in a vast player base, it highlighted a critical issue. The core gameplay had nothing new about it, the same old thing. Players began to feel that the innovative spark was missing, that EA and FIFA just wanted them to pay more every year for the same game and titles they'd experienced before. So how did EA get away with this? How did they make fans and the world pay for the same game every year? Well, the answer is staring us right in the face: content and branding. Every year, EA Sports would build hype around the game with a proper marketing plan. They didn't just use in-game players, they used legends of the game as well. Imagine the Zinedine Zidane hyping a game and telling you all about it. There's no way you wouldn't be interested, it's impossible. While the core gameplay remained relatively unchanged, trailers showed the world glimpses of new stadiums, updated kits, and minor tweaks to player movements, creating a sense of freshness. This new excitement led gamers to rush into stores in packs, eager to get their hands on the latest installment. However, just a few weeks post-purchase, many found themselves with the controller in hand and facing the harsh realization that they had essentially paid for what was really a minor update of the previous year's game, leaving them questioning whether all that money spent on the game was truly worth it. The lack of significant gameplay keeps bringing criticism from the gaming community. They are actively complaining now. It's like the world is on to EA. That's what they've been doing all along, the same game with new features for a higher fee. Pro Evolution Soccer, now rebranded as eFootball, has impressively closed the distance with its rival in recent years. The creative minds at Konami have completely overhauled their game engine, resulting in significant enhancements to gameplay, stunning visuals, and an overall immersive football experience. However, the problem here is that eafc, or FIFA as they used to be called, is the world's game, and many people just go about purchasing the game like a tradition. And that's because it is. The gaming community is no longer satisfied with a few tweaked versions of the same game they've been playing for years. Instead, fans are asking for fresh features, refined gameplay, and proper improvements that can make the game experience worth it. As the landscape shifts, the pressure is mounting for EA to prove that they can still capture the hearts of gamers and keep pace with the evolving demands of the football gaming community. For over a decade, EA Sports has expertly tricked the world into buying the same game year after year by using marketing and branding tactics, player ratings, and minor changes to keep fans hooked and engaged. But now it could be all up in smoke, because fans don't want that anymore, and the truth is, eafc has to watch their backs, because something is coming, or someone they know could very well hurt them and take them down. It's not just eFootball now, there's another competitor on the scene, EA, and the former FIFA cover star Cristiano Ronaldo has a new game that could very well take down EA in the coming years. You can find out how by clicking that next video to see how Ronaldo's new UFL game is ready to destroy eafc.